Hey y'all, it's been a little while since I did a state of my desk video, but this is what it looks like right now, and I'm getting ready to tell y'all why. If you've been watching the last couple of weeks, you know I was supposed to be going to Texas to help my mother prepare for an estate sale, and because she's downsizing drastically from a big house to an apartment since her husband passed away. Well, she goes on these trips. I'm going to clean this up while we're talking. She goes on trips a couple of times a year with some of her friends from back home. That it's like a chartered trip where they're mostly retired, and they get on a bus and they go somewhere and they spend a couple of days, but it usually takes them like 2 or 3 days to get to where they're going, and they stop and spend the night along the way and stop and eat. I know you've seen the bus loads of the old people before, different places. Well, anyway, she and my Mimi, her sister, were on a trip to Canada. They left South Louisiana last week. They left Texas and drove South Louisiana and met everybody there to get on the bus and go to Canada. Got to Canada, she sent me a couple of kind of update messages while they were there to let me know where they were and maybe what they had seen that day or whatever, you know, just normal chit chat. And they were supposed to get back to Denham Springs today, and they were spending the night there at a hotel there in Denham, meeting up with my oldest daughter to go out to dinner, because that's kind of their routine with her. They see her before they go on the trip. When they meet up down there, then they see her when they get back. So then tomorrow they were getting up, like she texted me earlier today. They were getting up tomorrow, having breakfast at the hotel, and then heading over here to pick me up. I should not laugh because it's not funny, y'all. I'm sorry, it's not funny. I'm a little overwhelmed right now and can't even believe this is real. So anyway, she had texted that I needed to be ready when they got here to pick me up tomorrow, because she didn't have any time to kind of lollygag around, because her little puppy is being boarded and she wants to get back to pick her up before they close tomorrow, right? Makes sense. I got it. I'm ready. I'm packed. I packed, y'all. I got everything ready to go. I left my box over in the living room. Well, anyway, so I get a call about 11:30 from my cousin Jamie. Mimi is her mom. And she says, "You're not going to believe what happened." And I knew immediately. I said, "Which one fell?" Because Mimi and my mother are famous for falling. They fall all the time. My mother, I think, has had 2 or 3 knee replacements. Mimi, I don't think has had a knee replacement, but she's broken bones in her feet and her legs so many times I can't even count. Well, this time it was my mother. So she fell. Well, it was a pretty bad fall. She had to be transported to an emergency room. They had an ambulance picked her up, took her to an emergency room in Meridian, Mississippi. So she was at the ER. They did not know at that point if she had dislocated a hip or broken a hip. Well, the bus is on a schedule. You know, they can't just hang around and wait. So Mimi gets on the bus to get back to Denham Springs, where my mother's car is. Mimi is picking up the car, then driving back to Meridian to the hospital to stay with Marianne. Y'all, so needless to say, they will not be picking me up tomorrow to go to Texas. But she's not going to be able to go home by herself, whether it's dislocated or broken. When they do what they need to do, she can't go home by herself. Her house is not wheelchair accessible. Yeah. So, life be lifing today. I'm not unpacking though, because you never know with those two. Mimi may be planning to drive over here to pick me up to take me to Meridian, Mississippi. I don't know. I have no idea. So I thought, okay, let me just sit down and have a little bit of planner time. I had pulled together a bunch of things, not a bunch of things, but there are certain things I needed with me to be able to do my tracking and things like that while I was gone. And now I'm here. Like, I tore some pages out of a couple of things to take with me that I could tip in when I got back home. Now I don't have to worry about that. I can just write in the book, whatever, I don't know. But I'm going to ask y'all, this is a serious question. At what point do you take away that independence from them? Like, I think she's okay to drive. I mean, she's been driving herself around, you know, she drives all the time and seems to be doing okay with that. But this whole traveling thing, like when I was at Jamie's and spent time with Mimi, she told me she thought this might be her last trip because she was taking a walker with her just in case she got tired and wasn't able to do the walking without having a walker, you know. But said that she thought it was probably going to be her last trip because she feels like she's getting too old for it. And Mimi is, I'm 59, Mimi is 78. Is that right? And my mother is 76 and will be my mother is 77 and Mimi is 79. Anyway, at what point do you take that? At what point do you have to become the parent to them? And y'all already know I've talked about the relationship we have. It's a little strange. It's a little strange. We have been estranged. I deal with her on what I call a need-to-know basis. That's to protect my own mental health. And, I mean, that's been fine for the last 15 years because she had her husband there with her. Well, now that he's passed away, she's by herself over in Texas and is kind of lost and planning to move back to Louisiana up north where her sister lives. But she's got to sell their house in Texas first and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I was going over there to help her with, get things in order where she could get her house on the market. But at some point, somebody's got to become a parent. I can take on that role, but it's going to be a complete role reversal. And I am a different person than I was growing up in the household with her and my father. And I'm not sure she's ready for that. I don't know if she's equipped for that. Because I speak my mind and I do what I want to do and I say what I want to say. And I don't know if she's ready for all that. You know what I'm saying? But if I end up going to help her during this recovery time, guess what? She's going to hear a whole lot from me, especially because she wants me to get away from me. She's going to hear a whole lot from me that she might not want to hear. Yeah, I don't know. But at what point do you decide, like she hasn't gotten in wrecks or anything like that. I think, like I said, I think she's okay driving. She's already decided that when she moves, she's going to go into an apartment for like elderly people, not necessarily assisted living, but in a little community type, retirement type place where they have staff who's there in case she falls or whatever and can't get up, that kind of thing, because it happens, y'all. Too often it happens. She falls a lot. Anyway, if y'all will keep her in your prayers, I would appreciate it. Keep Mimi in your prayers because she's the one that's trying to deal with all of this now. And I guess it's selfish to ask for prayers for myself, but man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's going to happen. Anyway, I just want to give y'all a little life update and find out if y'all have been through this before with your own parents. Have you been put in this position? Have you had an estranged relationship and then kind of put that aside to do what you felt like you had to do? Because I do feel like I have a certain responsibility. I mean, I would do it for a neighbor. If I would do it for a neighbor or a stranger, I guess I should do it for her. I wouldn't do it for my father. He could be on fire and I wouldn't piss on him. But he's a child molester, and that's why. So I felt like I had to add that. Anyway, what do you do, y'all? Somebody tell me what you do in a situation like this, because I'm at a total and complete loss. I'm going to sit here and watch some YouTube. I'm not unpacking today because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like I said, hell, Jamie may be leaving Natchitoches to come pick me up and take me to Mississippi to stay there with her mama and my mama. I don't know. Or she might be driving down here to pick me up and take me to Mississippi and leave me there and pick her mama up and take her back to Natchitoches. I have no idea what the plan is. And here I sit. You know, here I sit. Here I am, not knowing what to do. I just want to give y'all a life update in case I go, in case I disappear for a couple of days. It doesn't mean I've left. Y'all didn't scare me off. You didn't scare me off or run me off. It just means life started lifing again, and I had to take care of some things. Anyway, love you guys. I appreciate y'all. And if y'all can send some good vibes, light a candle, rub some crystals, make a gree bag, voodoo doll, whatever it is you do, I would appreciate it, because it's a mess right now and I am totally and completely lost. I still love y'all, and I want you to go have a good day and be nice to somebody so they'll be nice back to you, and I will keep y'all updated. Bye.